right, guys. So welcome back for this edition of Timberwolves Talk this week. I'm Chris, and that is Peyton. If you haven't seen our Timberwolves Talks before, we do these weekly. We kind of just go over the games, go over kind of what we're feeling. Lately, it's all been kind of bad, but there is hope on the horizon. So this week, we're kind of going over the Orlando game winner, the last Warriors game, our win. Yeah.
There's a few good talking points here. We're just gonna try to make the best out of the situation. That's kind of what we feel that's kind of what our role is in the Timberwolves fan base. We instead of just being so negative, we're just trying to find something positive for us to look at because it's no fun. It's fun for a little bit being negative, but after a while, you just kind of want to see your team succeed. So
Exactly. Yeah, so I guess let's just get into the bad part right away, the Orlando game. So that game, um, it was frustrating in a multitude of ways. First of all, it was frustrating in which that we lost on a buzzer beater, but more so that we blew the game
we
in general, I
yeah
think.
we really blew that game because we were killing them, man. We were playing one of the best games I've ever seen the Timberwolves play. Like
Yeah, we had a 27-3 run and somehow still found a way to blow it at the end of the third and in the fourth quarter and let them come back and win the game. And that was more so we had no defense in the fourth quarter and we couldn't score and we turned the ball over a lot. Like turning the ball over has just been the story of the season so far for the Timberwolves. When you turn the ball over consistently over 15 times every single game, you're going to lose most of your games, and that's what we've been doing. And I don't know, I thought we had a great game. That was looking like the game we were going to win without Cat, and D'Lo stepped up to the plate. Malik stepped up to the plate. Um, you can't ask for much more. Nas had a great game. Yeah, I don't know.
it was one of the more impressive losses that I've ever seen in professional sports. I saw a thing that with 3 minutes left, we had a 99.95% chance to win the game.
Yep.
And I also saw a thing that teams that are winning by I think 17 with 3 minutes left in the game are like 8,960 and 0 in NBA history. So
Yeah.
we're breaking records out there. It's not the records we want to break. But I mean, to look at the positives, I mean, like we said, we want to lose good games. We want to have good losses. And although that was a terrible way to lose, there's so many positives that we can take out of that game. So I would chalk that up as a good loss. It's better than losing by 30 like we did.
Yes. Yeah.
I feel
I
like we're
mean,
missing a game. I think we have 4 games to cover because I feel like there was a game where we just got destroyed. The Hawks game.
yeah,
Second
the
Hawks game.
Hawks game.
That was
Yeah.
a
I
bad
so
loss.
the point of the Magic game is if we did Timberwolves talk right after the Magic game, it would be so just irrational and everything coming out of our mouths would be just probably we would say it's wrong the next day. So we wanted to wait on that a
Mhm.
little bit. And looking back at it, yeah, it sucks in the moment, but you got to live with it. It would have been nice to have that game in that stretch, but it is what it is. Cole Anthony hit the big shot. You just got to move past it. And then going on to the Atlanta Hawks game, um, that game I think I was a little bit more even frustrated than I was with the Magic game. I think Clint Capella just had whatever he wanted in the middle. He literally he got a triple double with
With
blocks,
blocks, yeah.
and there's not a lot of players who have ever done that. So it's a little frustrating that obviously not. I don't blame Nas. He's 6'9", playing a 7-footer in Capella, who's honestly maybe he probably is the best rebounder in the NBA right now. So obviously we're gonna have some issues on the inside, but the thing that really upset me was Josh Okogie's defense on Trae Young, letting him drop 44 in 29 minutes. Josh Okogie
Yeah, we'll
is
definitely
interesting
touch
this
yeah.
season.
We'll
It's
definitely touch on him.
we'll touch on him a little bit later, but about his lack of defense. But
Yes.
um, Yeah, the nothing went well in the Hawks game for us. Malik had a bad game. Anthony Edwards had a really bad game.
It was just I feel like it's one of those games where you get so much energy and so much put into that Magic game. You just leave it all out on the court. You come out just a terrible way to lose, and then I just feel like we were just deflated by the point
Yeah,
that the Hawks game came around.
it was
It was just
brutal.
a
It
terrible
was
game. We had no chance to win that at any point in the game.
no. I mean, DeAndre Hunter was killing us. Trae Young killed us. Capella killed us. And that's really all they needed. They didn't need Kevin Huerter to play good. They didn't need Cam Reddish to play good. They shut us out in the first half, and that was the end of that game. So I don't have much to say about that game. That was just a poor Timberwolves game. They turned the ball over 26 times. The Hawks did, and we still lost that game because we
Or was
turned
that
the
the
ball.
first? I feel like that was the first Hawks game because we played them twice. The first time they turned it over 26, and we still lost. And then because we played them twice in the last like 5 games.
Yeah, I don't know which one that was. They were both bad. They were both terrible
They're both
games.
terrible. Yeah,
Like,
we don't like the we don't like talking about the Hawks games.
yeah, both games they killed us in every facet of the game. But so we have one more in here, right? The
We got last night.
well, last night, yeah. So we'll focus mainly on last night because it's
Yeah,
it's the
current game.
freshest in our heads. But for the first point I wanted to touch on was Josh Okogie. He was literally doing nothing on the court. He was playing bad defense. He didn't take one shot. He didn't get one rebound, and he didn't get an assist until 5 minutes left in the game. He was literally just running around on the court doing nothing.
Yeah, and it's just tough because some possessions he was bringing it defensive. It's not like he wasn't doing anything defensively. And like
Yeah,
a comment that I wanted to make when you were just saying that was I almost had a better stat line than Josh Okogie last night.
yeah. We he had one bit. I'll give him. He had a huge steal on. Maybe it was I don't know if it was Curry or not, but he swiped it, and that's where we got the transition points to Malik, and that really ignited us, and that's when we got within I think 8 points.
So
and at that point, like, yeah,
he's never been a stat sheet stuffer. He's never going to give you a stat. He will never give you a stat line that you'll look at and be like, wow, he's a good basketball player. You always have to. He's an eye test player. You always have to watch him. But I feel like last night he didn't give us the stat line, and he didn't really pass the eye test. And same with the Hawks game. He's underwhelming this year defensively. He's not playing terrible, but when you don't put up the stats that he doesn't put up, you have to really play outstanding defense, and I don't think he's been doing that.
Yeah, and the only reason Josh Okogie's in is to play defense, and when he's not playing good defense, then there's no point in having him in the game, because if you're going to take 0 shots, I'd rather just have Anthony Edwards play 35 minutes a game. And I don't know. And another thing that frustrated me was after that transition bucket where we got to Malik, we were fired up. We were within 7 or 8. Steve Kerr calls a timeout. What a smart coach does in that situation, calls a timeout.
Yep.
And we didn't give Malik Beasley a touch the rest of the game. He ended with 30 with us, I think it was 6 minutes to go, and he didn't touch the ball once the rest of the game. Imagine that.
Yeah. And I think there was a few times where we were trying to get him on these down screens. We were trying to get him coming up over to into the corner, and it just wasn't open because Golden State is a smart basketball team. They're a smart basketball whole program. Everything is like, so they realize, oh, he's scoring 30 points. Let's just not let him touch the ball. And that's how you do it. And they did a fantastic job shutting Malik Beasley down. But
yeah, and they pretty much said, okay, so we learned they have only one person who can score the basketball on the floor right now. So we're gonna lock that one person down, double team them off the screens, and we didn't really score.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It just like hurts being a fan of a team like the Timberwolves because you see other teams just doing things that just seem so elementary. Like, yeah, we're not gonna let Malik Beasley beat us anymore. Let's make Jordan McLaughlin or whatever. I don't even know how to say his last
And
name.
no disrespect on J-Mac, because Jordan McLaughlin had a great game. I think he picked up Rubio's slack. I think after Rubio was turning the ball over a lot and he went 1 for 8. I think J-Mac was the guy we needed to. He needed to drop 15 for us to have a chance, and that's exactly what he did. Like he always steps up to the plate is what I've noticed about Jordan McLaughlin.
Yeah.
He may be 5'11", but he's always gonna. He's a great finisher on the inside, and he's that spark plug off the bench that's really great. And
He's
I
a
don't
fan
know,
favorite.
I didn't love the now looking back on it, is making Rubio our backup point guard after Jordan McLaughlin just had a breakout season last season the right decision?
I don't know. I think we should have.
Pro-
I think it's kind of. I think we really should have gave him a full contract. I don't know why we didn't give him.
And we're not going to be able to afford him now because he's showing us that
Yeah,
he's a great player, and we could have gotten him on a cheap actual NBA contract. But now next season when he's up for a contract extension again, he's we're not going to be able to get him. We
and
don't have any cap.
is he gonna want to come back to the team that wouldn't even re-sign him after a great season? I don't.
That gave him a G League contract after he was just balling when D'Lo had his injuries and when he just needed to come off the bench. He was averaging 7 points the whole season, but he didn't even really play the first half. He probably would have averaged about 12.
I think he's just a great backup point guard, and what a great backup point guard can do is they can produce when the main point guard is out, and I think he just does a great job of that. And I don't
And
know.
it's looking just poor. It's a poor decision, I think, as the days keep coming. I love Rubio as a veteran leader, but his play has just been so down this year. It's tough to find anything really good from his besides his passing, and even that he's just turning the ball over too many times.
Yeah, dude, he
It's
makes some just terrible turnovers.
it's hard to justify the James Johnson trade.
It really is. It's turning into just a dumpster fire of a trade
And
for the
James
Timberwolves.
Johnson would have been a beautiful four. It hurts because I love Vanderbilt coming off the bench, and I was kind of wrong about this. I said Vandy needs to be a bench player for his energy, but he showed me last night
Yep.
that he can be a
Oh,
starting four. He showed me that he can be a starting four. So, I think Johnson would have been an incredible backup along with McDaniels. But
yeah.
we gotta live with our decisions, and yeah.
Yeah, with Rubio, it's just such a roller coaster ride with the fan base because you see him after that. I get these games mixed up. What game did we win? We didn't even talk about the game we won.
We beat the Pelicans. We'll talk about the Pelicans after this game.
Yeah, but
We can talk about that.
After the Pelicans game, everyone was just raving over Ricky Rubio, and I hate to say it, but I saw so many tweets saying, "Let's just bench D'Lo the rest of the year. Let's trade D'Lo for a first round pick." First of all, I don't
Yeah,
think that could even happen because he's got such a big contract. But everyone was on the Rubio train, and now
and
you
Peyton
look
and
at
I
him.
were not on the Rubio train even that game. And
No,
he had a good game, but he's supposed to play like that every single game. Like that's not an exceptional game by any means for Ricky Rubio. That's how he played every single game for the Jazz and the Suns in the end of his Timberwolves career last time he played for us. Like that's
yeah,
how he should be playing.
exactly. He
So it's just a little frustrating. Yeah, it's just a little frustrating. I don't know. I like the people who say he should be starting over D'Lo are just delusional. Like there was a little bit more ball movement, and I think that contributed a little bit. But I think if we had D'Lo, we would have wiped that team by even more because the Pelicans are just terrible this year.
D'Lo is a very good basketball player. Like I don't know why everyone just loves to hate on him. He's such a
Yeah,
good basketball player for the Timberwolves. He is our best player on the court when Cat's not on the court. He's better than Malik Beasley, I think.
he's our only off. He's our only. Him and Malik are our only offense.
And like it just sucks because no one is like there are not many D'Angelo Russell fans in the Timberwolves fan base. Have you noticed that?
I have, and I think it's a little. I I try to discredit those people who slander D'Angelo Russell because if you look at his past stretch of 4 games, he's scored over 27 every single
Yeah.
one of those games. I'm pretty sure, and it's like, what more can you ask the man to do? And Malik had a great game last night, but the past 4 he's been struggling a little bit,
Mhm.
and it's hard to ask D'Angelo Russell to just make a play with no shooters around him, which is another topic of discussion there for the Warriors game. Is Saunders put out these late game lineups that had no
Terrible.
shooters in them. Like
Just
when I see in a Kogi, Korver, J
layman.
Mac,
Layman
Layman lineup, I don't. I'm like, who's
going
going
to
to
a zone.
score?
They went into a zone against us and shut us down.
Like who's going to score?
Exactly. Like it
No
might
one
be a
can
good.
pop up. Like no one can get off the like. That's the people can score in that lineup. Like don't get me wrong, Nas can score, J Mac can score, but no one can score off the dribble or off a screen. They all have to be like Nas has to be wide open, set shot. J Mac has to be driving. He or have a spot up. Malik's the only one that can come off a screen and score.
Yeah.
Besides Anthony Edwards, but he's inconsistent at best right now with that. So you can't
Put these lineups together.
put these lineups together late game. I don't know why. He was right in not playing Jake Layman the whole game. Jake had a good third quarter, and that's all he needed to do is just give us some valuable minutes. But I don't know why he was in endgame.
Jake, man, there's a lot of plays that guy makes that just
Astound me.
just make me go, what? Like his Euro step, he just Okay, there's so many turnovers last night that are just like, you see the play and then you're just like, what? Like we'll just kick the ball. There's so many times we dribble it off our foot. Like that happened at least 3 times, or we'll just pass it right to the other team. Like they're not even like in basketball. There's turnovers where there at least you can say that's a decent turnover because you were trying to make a play, or like at least you were driving to the basket and you might have like turned it over. But at least you're getting you're making a basketball play. But if you're dribbling it off your foot or you're just chucking it to the other team, it's just you can't do that in the NBA. And we did that so many times last night.
The worst turnover I saw last night was we were just so stagnant. It was like 5 minutes left in the game. And we were just so stagnant, like 8 seconds left in the shot clock. We had done nothing. Rubio was just dribbling around. And all he does, like Malik's just sitting in the corner.
Yep. I know the
no one's
exact
running picks for him. And Rubio just tries to toss a wing pass to Josh Okogie with the defender right. Like
It wasn't
he tossed
even
it right at the defender.
It was like a Patrick Mahomes float pass. It wasn't even a hard pass. He just floated
It
it
was
up
like he
there.
was trying to turn the ball over.
Yeah, it might have been like in the NFL one, like it's 3rd and long, and they take
It's like a long punt.
a lot. Yeah, an intentional like interception, and that's kind of what it looked like there. I don't know what it got for him, but it looked like an intentional interception, and it.
Like I was like, what is he doing? Like out of all people he could pass it to with 8 seconds left on the perimeter, he chose Okogie as well, the guy who hasn't shot a shot all game.
Well, and out of all people to make a stupid turnover, you're gonna have our guy who's supposed to be the Mr. Consistent assist to turnover ratio.
That's what's the most infuriating thing about Rubio this year is he's the guy who's not supposed to do that stuff. He's the guy who's supposed to play good defense, not turn the ball over, be the offensive like leader, make people better. But I don't know. He hasn't made life easier for Anthony Edwards this year. He hasn't made life easier for D'Lo at all when they play together. He's made it harder for D'Lo.
Yeah,
he's made it harder for Malik.
I want to show you this. I think I sent you this on text. Our texts are funny now lately. It's all just during the Timberwolves game. We just we just go off.
Yeah.
So this is from Tyler Metcalf, T Metcalf 11. He didn't tweet this at us, obviously, because we don't have many followers on Twitter. He said, just because D'Angelo Russell is a good off-ball shooter doesn't mean he should play as an off-ball guard. The 2 PG lineups for the Timberwolves have to stop. They've been disastrous. And here are the net ratings. When D'Lo and J-Mac are on the court together, it's a negative -79 average. And when D'Lo and that is terrible.
That is 100% the worst.
So when it's a net rating, does that mean like per whatever minutes like a full game is?
So throughout this, I think it's per the
60 minutes or
what is it,
however
50 minutes per 50 minutes. If you had those two on the court the whole game, they'd have a -79 rating. Like we'd be down 79 points.
Yeah, and then we got D'Lo and Rubio is a -22, which isn't as. I mean,
it's bad. It's terrible, but it's not as bad as I expected it. Honestly,
it's not as bad as
the D'Lo J-Mac numbers may be a little inflated because I'm not sure how much time they play together.
And then Rubio and J-Mac is a -60.
Yeah, and that's expected. Like there's no reason to put Rubio and J-Mac in the same lineup because they do the same things.
Well, it's just
pretty much.
You need offense in the NBA. That's what we've.
And we're supposed to be the self-proclaimed 3-point shooting offensive team, but there was a stat last night I saw on the TV. We take the second most field goals within 5 feet, and we're shooting, I think, the 29th best. We only make 41% of our layups this year, which is awful. Like, can you imagine only making 41% of layups in a game and trying to win that game? Because that's what the Timberwolves try to do every game. And when we're the self-proclaimed, we want to change the game, be that 3-point shooting team, and we put out lineups like a Kogi and Korver, the same lineup. It's impossible. I don't even like to use the word impossible that often, but it's impossible with Josh Kogi and Jared Korver to spread the floor and spray threes from all over the wings.
Yeah. Another topic I really just kind of want to touch on is Anthony Edwards. Although he's not shooting well, I have zero problem with him shooting because
I 100% agree with you. And go ahead.
Because it's offense, it's just so stagnant so many of the times. But at least when Anthony Edwards is in the game, he can get a shot off whenever he wants.
I feel terrible for him because he always comes in on that second lineup and they just expect him to take every shot. Like, of course, it's like Georgia all over again. Of course, the shooting percentage is going to be low. But I did love, it was the end of the third quarter and no one else wanted to take, they were just all passing off. No one wanted to take the shot. Anthony Edwards took the ball, dribbled it to the wing and ISO'd and got a wide open shot. And yeah, he missed it. I'm like, I like that. I like him taking control. Like he's going to be a great player. And we got to give it 2 seasons. Yeah, we got to give it 2 to 3 seasons. Look at Donovan Mitchell, what he's doing right now. Like it's incredible. Look at John Morant was very inefficient his rookie season, and look what he's doing. Like guys, give it some time. It's not Anthony Edwards' fault. We owe him a couple years. We owed Cat a couple years.
Yep.
We owe him the same amount. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating to be a fan of this fan base. Part
of this fan base. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to be part of this fan base. Everyone on Twitter, it's embarrassing to be part of you guys.
It is. It's honestly some of the Timberwolves fans are so toxic and so just non-believing. Like, guys, we're 4-12 right now, but once we get D'Lo and Cat back, I guarantee you we're gonna break off like probably 6 out of the next 8, and we're gonna be 10-14 and right back in the 10th seed contention. And it's just when we're gonna get healthy, and we're gonna get healthy. Most likely not. We're probably gonna have D'Lo back next game, but Cat can't play until the Sixers game. So the Sixers game is in 2 games. We'll have Cat and D'Lo back, a fully healthy lineup. I think we could make a statement win against the best team in the East right now.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that, man. And before we get too far off the Anthony Edwards thing, there's 2 things I want to talk about with Anthony Edwards. One thing, I tweeted this out last night. I don't think anyone saw it, but
follow Twitter below.
Follow Basshole_media on Twitter. It's just some great content. I'll tell you.
We tweet at Doogie a bunch, have some funny tweets during the games. It's a good time.
Yeah. So basically what I said is, like, Anthony Edwards should not ever take a mid-range shot right now because I've never seen him make a mid-range shot. Maybe once or twice, but he needs to just drive to the basket every single time. And he's gonna start getting fouled.
He's so fun at the basket.
And dude, every single time when he looks like he's gonna yam it every time. That's how explosive he is. And it's just, and he's gonna start getting more free throws. In the game we won against
Pelicans.
Against the Pelicans, I think he had 8 free throws and he was 8 for 8. So he's gonna start getting these calls. He's gonna start learning how to get fouled, and that is when that's how he's going to become a great player. All these great scorers.
Look at Harden. Yeah, Harden exactly. Harden on the Thunder. He was averaging like 12. He wasn't getting to the line a bunch. Then right as he went to Houston, he learned how to get fouled, and then now he shoots the most free throws per game. I'm pretty sure.
And how it happens is, like, once you start getting fouled a lot, the refs are going to start giving you the benefit of the doubt. And you're going to start getting calls that you wouldn't get. And all these calls that Anthony Edwards isn't getting, he's going to start getting those. And it's all just going to exponentially grow. And that's how it's going to happen. It's not going to be a slow rise to greatness for Anthony Edwards. It's going to be quick. It's going to be maybe not next year, but it's going to be the next year. He's just going to come out of nowhere. But he's not, because the Basshole podcast has been talking about this for 2 years by then. We're gonna be always
Yeah.
we're gonna be showing you guys that it's very close. He has the same exact stat line right now as Zach LaVine did as a rookie. Exact same. Everything.
Yeah, and I
Look
just
at
want to
Zach
take a
LaVine.
moment to talk about, so all draft experts use free throw percentage to determine if you're going to be a good shooter or not, and it is the most effective way to do it. And pretty much every person who is a great free throw shooter is a good shooter. And Anthony Edwards right now is shooting incredible from the free throw line. I don't know the exact percentages, but he's having I can look it up right now. But he's having such a great year from the free throw line, and that's going to translate.
Oh,
Because every single time he goes to the line, he
doesn't even
puts
hit
the
the
free
net.
throws down.
He doesn't even hit the rim, I mean. And
Yeah, so I'll get this stat up soon.
yeah, while Chris is pulling this up, I just want to take a little poll. What do you guys think about having the live game in the background? I don't honestly, I don't know if it's distracting or not, and I don't know if it's legal or not either. I don't know if we're breaking copyright laws. So just drop in the comments what you think about it. I mean, this right here, this is one of the most classic Timberwolves games of all time. I think if any of us are actual Timberwolves fans, we all might have shed a tear at this game. I mean, this is D Rosa. He obviously didn't show it on that play, but this is his game. And this is kind of a vintage Timberwolves game. We got Rubio on the Jazz. We got Wiggins. Like, hell of a game. It's full on YouTube if you guys want to check it out. Maybe we'll link it below.
It's a great game. Yeah, so he's shooting 80% from the free throw line. And if you told me Anthony Edwards was going to do that a couple months ago, I wouldn't have believed you. I really wouldn't have. So, I mean, that's a really good sign that he's got a great free throw stroke right now. So I think that's something really that he can build on and be really, really good at. So moving on to the Pelicans game, I saw a lot of good stuff in the Pelicans game. We played amazing defense on them in the third quarter. I think we made them go 3 for 21 until the last 2 minutes. So that was a really good sign to see. Nas Reid had, I think, his best game of the year.
He played great last night too.
Yeah, so 20 points on really efficient shooting. He rebounded better than he has been, and that's huge for him. Rubio, like we said, had a Rubio-esque game, like a game we see from Rubio always. So that was really helpful. Malik did his thing, was scoring the basketball nicely, shot over 50%. Kogi was playing good defense, which was needed. Korver had a really good game. Scored the ball at will on the inside, got some good boards for us. J-Mac again, a great game from J-Mac. So I think this was showing what the Timberwolves can do when they play more than 3/4 of basketball. And when this I think this is one of the best benches in the league, because right now it's our bench unit that's playing pretty much. Like these are the Timberwolves. This is the second team. So when this bench unit is playing this well, and we have our 2 superstars back, like this is gonna be good. This is what we should be looking forward to, and this is what we should expect.
Yeah, and like so I think we're gonna break this off in a separate clip and just kind of call it weekly optimism for struggling Wolves. For the pack. Weekly optimism for the pack. So we're just gonna try to bring that optimism. And so yeah, you see what the bench is doing, like, and I just think that NBA, that our fan base is just forgetting that our 2 best players are out. I think like that's such a big thing. That's like if the Lakers were without LeBron and Anthony Davis.
It's the same effect. Like, we're not saying that Cat and D'Lo are as good as LeBron and AD, but it has the same effect on our team. It has the same effect on the Timberwolves as it would on the Lakers. If you take away their 2 best players, they're probably the worst team in the West. If you take away our 2 best players,
if you take away anyone's if you take away anyone's 2 best players, they're going to be the worst team in the West. Like that.
It's tough. Like,
and I know you get angry.
The Nuggets right now without Jokic and Murray would be
terrible.
Oh my gosh, terrible.
Yeah, and I know it makes you angry at like these Twitter people. It makes you mad, and like you just want to take out your anger and just type some tweets. But like, come on, man! Like you got to have a little bit more confidence in the team. Like we're without our 2 best players. Our 2 rookies are both starting to come into themselves and play a lot better. Jaden McDaniels, dude.
Yeah, he's playing great basketball.
He's such a great. He's
playing great defense.
Oh, I didn't know he was. I did not think he was going to be that good at defense. When he's blocking Zion out there, man, like he's
Yeah,
he needs to put on
his
some weight
stroke
though.
looks great too. His shooting form is good. Every time he catches the ball at 3-point line, I think it's going in. Besides the game last night, he's done excellent from outside the arc. So it's really nice to see him come into his own. He's just so long. Like
It's
he's a multi-dimensional player on the court.
you can't look at him and not see KD. Like obviously he's not as dynamic of a scorer yet, but there's just so many similarities in his body type, his shooting form, like everything. It just I see a lot of KD in him. And there's just it's just I don't know. We got to figure out once we get Cat and D'Lo, we got to figure out how we can keep guys like Jared Vanderbilt involved in the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because I don't want them to shy away. I don't want J Mac to shy away once we get our two guys back. You know what I mean?
yeah, and I love that you brought that up because I think a Cat Vanderbilt lineup just plays off each other so well. Like I think Vanderbilt helps Cat with defense, and Cat sets up Vanderbilt really well. Like I think Vanderbilt can be that glue. I think we finally found a guy who can play beside Cat. That's like
Yes.
does what Cat can't do. Like that's what we need at the four. We need the guy who can do what Cat can't do, and Vanderbilt does everything that Cat can't do really well.
Yes.
So and it's the same with Jaden McDaniels, but Jaden McDaniels could be an upgrade from Vanderbilt in 2 years down the line. He's a project player. I see a lot of Jonathan Isaac in him, and a lot of people clowned us. We had a lot of comments for saying that they had a really good draft, and the reason we said they had a really good draft is we think at the 28th pick, getting I think the number 5 overall player in his class. I think that's a steal, and I think he's showing it right now that once he gets substantial playing time, he makes a big effect on the floor.
Of course, and like we still have a stash and draft. What's his face? Balmero.
And Balmero,
Yeah, like we haven't even seen that yet. So, what did we give the you gave the Timberwolves an A?
I gave him an A. Like I was fine with their draft.
Yeah, they had a great draft. Like,
and I think the Balmero pick was so good. It's because we don't have our pick next year. He acts as our pick next year. So
exactly.
it was a good trade. I think it was a really good trade. But yeah, overall, I was really happy with the Pelicans game. Our bench beat the Pelicans. Pretty talented starters.
Zion looked terrible. He did not look.
There's something wrong with the Pelicans right now. They're not shooting well whatsoever. But Brandon Ingram, I don't know why he wasn't playing like he did in the fourth quarter the whole game. But if he played like that, I can't even imagine what would happen.
Well, dude, we tried so hard to lose that game. Like we really were trying to lose that game. Like it was almost like we were cursed and like we were going to lose that game no matter what. That's what it looked like.
Yeah, I agree. But we pulled it out. I really do think we can beat this Warriors team with D'Lo back. I think if we had Cat and D'Lo, we would have won that game by double digits. By the way our bench was playing. Like our bench outplayed the Warriors starters in two of the 4 quarters. So I don't know what more you can ask from them. They played hard and they did their best. I mean, they're less talented than the Warriors starters. Obviously, they're bench players, but they outplayed them in 2 quarters. So I'm happy with that.
And I've been watching the NBA for a long time, and I've never seen a team play so hard.
Yeah, Vanderbilt was the essence of toughness that game.
Vanderbilt and Nas Reid one possession. It was literally the hardest I've ever seen, and I don't even think we came away with a score on the possession, but it was like just Vanderbilt saved the ball out of bounds. Nas missed it. Nas gets the rebound. Nas misses it, but they're like just like the hustle plays. That's as a fan, that's how I'm still staying in it. If I didn't see that heart or that effort, it would be very hard for me right now to sit and talk about the Timberwolves for an hour straight.
And there was another play where there was 3 Warriors going for the ball after a missed shot. I don't know by who. I think it was Rubio, but Vanderbilt went in between the 3 players and tapped the ball out to Malik, and he nailed like a really big 3.
Dude, he's such an annoying. I would hate playing against Vanderbilt. And you saw that with Andrew Wiggins one possession at the end of the game. Vanderbilt fouled him, and then he was like all over him, and then Vanderbilt just goes flying, and Andrew Wiggins just started laughing because he's like, "What the hell is wrong with this guy? Like, why is he trying so hard?"
Yeah, Vanderbilt was he was on our preseason watch list. We had a lot of faith in Vanderbilt. Plus he's only 21 and he's been in the league 3 years now, so that's a really big plus. So I
Yeah,
think he is developing into that guy.
I think whoever's still watching, I'm about to buy a Timberwolves jersey, and I'm stuck between a Vanderbilt or an Anthony Edwards. I don't. It's a tough. So I think we should get a little vote going in the comment section. Whoever's made it this far, because the way
Yeah,
I
and
see it, the Vanderbilt, the way the Timberwolves organization is as a whole, I feel like how many years do we have him on contract?
I think because we picked up his 2 years, so I think he's on contract next year, and then we have to extend him. So
Okay, so I guess
next year we have him for sure.
so I mean that would be a decent investment, but I feel like Anthony Edwards would be a better investment, but also just like having a Jared Vanderbilt jersey would just be
You get a lot of street cred with that jersey.
you get a lot of street cred. That's kind of like wearing the D Rose Forest jersey.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like look at that play, man. Maybe it is too distracting having this in the background because
Anthony was it Anthony Tolliver? Oh gosh, yeah, that was an interesting team. But one thing I wanted to move on in this Timberwolves talk was a free agent that we would both like to sign, and you might have to pull up the list. I was just looking at it randomly last night because I didn't really know anyone, but I was thinking for a segment today we'd do one free agent that the Timberwolves should sign. All right. So I'll go first while Peyton's looking, but just right now, like free agents right now.
Wait, what do you mean right? So like players that aren't signed?
Players that aren't signed to a team at the moment, yes.
So like in 2K
we could pick up right now.
Free agents. Just do I look up free agents?
Just look up current NBA free agents.
All right, let me pull up the list before you. So I can pick mine out. I don't want it to be skewed by yours.
But yeah,
Okay, well, Anthony Davis is definitely not.
I think it's on basketball.
Oops, hype! I got one pulling up right now. Top players available right now. Oh God! Yeah. All right, I see the first guy right now is like, yeah, why not take? All right, you go. I got one.
So, my free agent that I think we most need right now. It was based off last night's game, and it was based off me seeing lineups that couldn't shoot.
Yeah, I know exactly.
So a guy who's one of the greatest shooters of all time is a free agent right now. If that's Kyle Korver, that's exactly who I was thinking.
Yeah.
Kyle Korver is the guy that he's 39, but we bring him in for half the season. He shoots 45% from the three, 90% from the free throw line. Bring him in on the wing instead of Okogie for some of the game, and just having him come off because he's a guy who can come off of screens. He's a guy who can shoot off the dribble. He's a guy who can spot up, and that just takes the defense's attention away drastically for other players. Yeah. If Kyle Korver is on the court, I don't care who you are. Like if I was playing against Kyle Korver and I saw him check in, I'm like, okay, like Kyle Korver's in. We cannot let him touch the ball at the 3-point line being semi-open.
Yeah, I don't care.
That opens up lanes for a lot of people.
I don't care if he's 39; he can still knock it down. Yeah, that's
my guy. I think Kyle Korver would be a really good pickup on a minimum.
100%. And would he be interested in coming? That's the question. For me, well, as I'm scrolling on this list, this one just again, it's not really the. I don't know if it would really fit that well in the Timberwolves system, but Jamal Crawford, I feel like he could almost be just a great veteran just to bring in and just kind of whip everyone into shape. And when he's on the court, dude, he can score. It doesn't matter how old he is. He can get shots up. And sometimes when we have those terrible lineups in with J-Mac and like Okogie and Korver, like I feel like just having a guy like Jamal Crawford who can create something might be beneficial.
Yeah, and I loved him on the Timberwolves dating back to 2017. He was a great six-man for us. He almost won six-man of the year for the Timberwolves. I think someone beat him by a couple votes, but he's a guy who's another guy who's on the top. I think he's top 7 all time in 3-point field goals made, and so is Kyle Korver. So Me and Peyton have had overlapping free agents here, so that should tell you that we really want some 3-point shooting and efficiently.
Yep.
We need to stretch the floor a little bit more than we are doing right now without D'Lo and Cat, because it's not the 1980s anymore. We can't win games scoring 90 points in the paint. We got to be able to shoot, and Malik can't be the only one that can do it.
Well, yeah, when we have some of these lineups, we don't even have someone who can shoot, or we don't even have anyone who has like a great post presence. We just have nothing. And these lineups,
it's our bench. It's our bench, but I think one of those veterans would be a vital piece to a bench squad.
And it doesn't hurt anyone. You bring in Kyle Korver, that doesn't hurt a single person. No one would complain. No rookies would be pissed off that you brought in Kyle Korver. Everyone respects the guy. I feel like it could only be positive. Now the question is, would Kyle Korver want to come to the Timberwolves? And I don't know. If I was Kyle Korver, he's probably enjoying retirement right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if any one of those guys would pick up the call. They're both haven't announced retirement yet. Most likely, if they don't get picked up this season, I can see them retiring at 40 for each of them. But yeah, maybe give them one last hurrah. I think they could do tremendous things for leadership in general, along with shooting. And yeah, I mean, looking forward to the next few games. We got a couple hard ones. We got the Sixers, Lakers, and Clippers coming up again. I don't know exactly when those are, but we also have a 3-game stretch of the Spurs and then the Thunder twice in a row, which is a must-win 3-game stretch. I think we can pull off 3 games there. I think we can beat the Cavs. We have the 2-game Cavs stretch.
They're playing great.
They've been playing good.
Yeah,
they're playing good, but I think we should at least be able to get 1, if not 2, out of that. They're not. I don't think they're anything special. Yeah, they're, like we said, there's a lot of winnable games coming up.
We just need to get something going. We need to realize that it's okay to win 2 games in a row. That it's not the worst thing in the world to just win 2 games in a row. Like
exactly,
you can do it. You can, like, you don't just have to lose. You can't just
there's a lot of pessimism, but we beat the hottest team in the NBA right now. We beat the Jazz. Like they are a very good team, and I think they've broken off some crazy win streak. I don't know the exact number right now, but they're the hottest team in the NBA. We beat them pretty handily, actually, like 8 points, 9.
Yeah.
Sir. So I don't know. I think honestly, if they play their best game, they can steal one from the Sixers, Lakers, or Clippers. We just gotta go 1 and 3. We beat the Clippers by 30 last season.
Yeah, I think we just need one. We need one good game here. One game that is equivalent to that Jazz game, and I think that'll get the ball rolling. I don't see what else wrong could go with. I don't see anything like worse happening to Cat. I think that we're gonna have Cat the rest of the season. I really hope so. Knock on wood. And I think we can just, like, we haven't seen Cat and D'Lo play together. That is the most ridiculous thing. Like, they've played 5 games together.
In a year. 5 games in almost a year.
5 games. So, like, just I want to let that play out a little bit. And then, if it doesn't work out, then, the pessimism, I can see where that's coming from. But at least give it a chance, guys. Come on.
Yeah, so I thought it was a great talk today. Yeah, I don't know when the next talk will be. Probably be around the next time, next week, beginning of the week.
Yeah. Or hey, how about this? If we beat the Warriors, I think we play them on Wednesday. I think we should do a little game recap. Maybe. All right.
So this is some incentivization for the Wolves. If they win, we will do a Timberwolves talk after the Warriors game.
If you're watching this, anyone on the Timberwolves, we will do another Timberwolves talk on Thursday if you can beat the Warriors. So
do it for the fans.
I know Jake's watching this probably. So Jake, if you're watching this, play your ass off, man. Get a win. But other than that, I think we'll probably see you guys in another week. We're thinking about kind of expanding our NBA content. I think we just kind of want to reach a wider fan base, a wider audience, kind of cast the net out there, see what comes back. So,
and of course, I think as you guys saw, a lot of you probably watched our draft videos this year too. Those did really well. We got over 2,000 views on a few videos. So yeah, we can, if that's something you guys are interested in, I think we definitely will expand out and do some other NBA content. I mean, we got the time to do it. We
Yeah.
you know,
Okay.
we check out the fishing videos.
I mean, yeah,
I mean,
even
yeah,
if that's not something you're really interested in, I mean, it always will help us out. And I think, it's good content, even if you're not into fishing. It's just kind of an interesting thing to watch. But thank you guys again for tuning in. I think it was a great episode, and hope you guys have a great week.